course, the first time.
Hey, I'm Adam.
I'm Bryan.
Back with another episode of Buds and Suds. So we have a new brewery beer that we haven't reviewed before. This isn't a new brewery, but this is a new beer for us. This is Taxman Brewing out of Indianapolis, Indiana. I went up, you saw some of our reviews from some of the beer I brought back, 450 North, and then, from the bottle shop as well. But this was recommended to me to go, and I had a wonderful time there. So I thought we'd review. It's the only one I have left, actually. They do this barrel-aged stout series. They release it every year at Tax Day. Everything's tax themed, obviously, for Taxman. So this is Evasion. It's a barrel-aged stout. This one is the raspberry version that is port barrel-aged. It's a 13% Belgian-style stout. So everything they do is Belgian style, and I mean that basically Belgian yeast. I will say I've had Belgian style, IPA, stouts. Everything they do is nice and subtle. It's not punch you in the mouth, clove, banana, and everything they do. So if that's going to deter you, don't. This place is wonderful, very friendly. I think they have 2 locations now, one in downtown and one was just a little south of the city. We went to the one a little south of the city. The bartender, the samples, he was great talking to us, even took us back for a little quick tour. It's a small, a relatively small brewery in comparison to some of the, the big places. But it was just very nice, friendly, highly recommended. So we're going to do this, this brewery.
Let's do it.
This beer. So it pours dark. I mean, you can kind of see around a little bit. It's not quite darkness, but it's really, and look at that nice tan head, 13%. Let's get the nose.
Oh, that's a lot of raspberries.
It's so tart, red raspberry fruit. I mean, that comes through.
Yeah.
More of the same. Hint of a chocolate behind it, but it's raspberry.
If you say so.
Cheers.
All right, cheers.
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 Ooh.
That's a lot of raspberry.
So much raspberry. Raspberries up front, going through the back, getting chased by a little bit of this bittersweet or semi-sweet chocolate. I shouldn't say bittersweet, kind of semi-sweet chocolate. But that first sip, it's not puckering tart.
I kind of thought it would be from the nose, but it's not that bad.
It's a nice. I mean, raspberry itself is a tart fruit,
right?
And this has a ton of it in it.
Yeah, it's good. Like you said, a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of tartness, but not puckering. Maybe a little chocolate and. For 13%, it's actually got a little heat to it.
It's hard to get the heat after what we just had.
I was going to say, after the stuff.
So this is port barrel aged, not bourbon barrel aged. So you definitely, that raspberry playing with those port fruit flavors, it's very nice. It complements it well. I think this is a really well done beer. As you get accustomed, that raspberry was very predominant, and as these beers we do, these adjuncts, you start to get accustomed to that dominant flavor, and it's definitely it's a nicer meld of raspberry and chocolate, and the port obviously.
Yeah, the port too. Yeah, the port standing out to me as kind of almost just that grape, that nice dark grape,
kind of a dry wine, dry red wine. You got a hint of dryness there.
Yeah.
The tannin, it's just a hint though. It doesn't. It's behind that raspberry, that candy chocolate.
I think it's good. I like it.
Raspberry dominance. So the other ones that we had from this, so this was the 2019. I want to bet their 2020 release may be delayed. It's every year on tax day, but unfortunately. But there was a bourbon barrel aged. There was a coffee cocoa, I think, which was really good, and. There might have been one more that I'm forgetting, but those are the only cans that we could get. I think they do more, just kind of like I think they do more kind of experimental ones of those that you can get on tap during the day. There was one that, like a maple something or other, that sounded amazing that we couldn't get cans of, but and I think they change them up every year, the variants. So but it was wonderful. Good time there, good brewery. This is a good beer. It was probably my least favorite of the ones because regular bourbon barrel was wonderful, and then chocolate cocoa. I mean, I thought that was just, oh my gosh. So, but they're gone. I shared them with other friends, and so unfortunately don't have a review for those, but this one's good as well. I give it a 4.2.
Yeah, I was going to say 4.25. It's maybe would have been higher if we hadn't had it after stuffed, but it's still pretty good. I would. If it had been a little thicker, I would have rated it a little higher. But I do like the raspberry melded with the port barrel. I think it adds to it instead of taking away from it.
That's a good point. It is thin. Now, this is called a Belgian style. I mean, I don't. There's no way blind I would have called this a Belgian stout. I would have said it's a thinner stout.
Yeah.
But I don't get any hints of any hints of the Belgian yeast flavors.
Yeah, the ester. I don't think I would have.
Yeah, even knowing they're there. And that's funny though, because when I was sitting there, and it might have just been a prejudice, like, well, I don't want a Belgian IPA or a Belgian stout. I want a stout. I want an IPA. And then you try and you're like, this is really good. I mean, so it just goes to show, try things, because you may have something I've had overwhelmingly Belgian IPAs that almost taste like banana, and then this place though, very subtle, way more hop character. So I think they're a Belgian brewery, but the styles are pretty close to what you're used to getting everywhere else without Belgian.
Yeah, I agree with you. Blind, I don't think I would have ever said that this is a Belgian stout. But the problem, I shouldn't say problem, but what's going for them is a stout. It's hard to make a stout taste like a Belgian, because there's so many other robust flavors and smells that it'd be hard for something that's subtle to kind of stand out.
Right.
And I think it's good. Yeah, I'll stick with 425.
Yep, 425, and check it out. Taxman Brewing out of Indy. This is the Evasion raspberry with port barrel age. So, anything else?
No.
As always, guys, if you can't have the beer, if you can't have the beer you love the beer you have. Thanks.